What is up, guys? It's your boy Ed Bandicoot 101 here, and today we are reviewing the Xbox One. Now, my room is a shit tip. I'm trying to keep out of it. I really can't be bothered. I've got protein shakes in the background. Anyway, more to the point. This is my review of the Xbox One. Now, this is a console I'm very impressed with, actually. It did better than I expected it to, because I bought this thing literally just for use with Halo. Now you can see I've got a PS4 on top of it, so I'll be comparing it to the PS4 in some ways, but I'll be doing a separate PS4 versus Xbox One video. So, that's the Xbox One there. You can see it there. I've got my TV remote on top of it. Now, I thought I'd go over the technical specifications first. So, we are looking at a console which has an outside power brick. That's on the floor down below. Very unexceptional. Expected to be built in the console. Not happy about that. It has an outside power brick. You're also looking at a CPU that's 8 cores by AMD, the same one in the PS4, except for there are some minor differences. The clock speeds on the CPU are higher. There's all of the 8 cores, I believe, are clocked at 1.75 GHz, which is beating the PS4's ones at 1.6. But more to the point, it's got less graphical power, less graphical memory, and the RAM on the actual CPU, like feeding the actual CPU, only adds up to 8 GB of DDR3 RAM, which is really good for information storage and programs, but not too good for graphical fidelity. I can't say I can really complain. Some games may run slightly better if they're cross-platform on the other console, but at the end of the day, the graphics are still pretty much identical on both. The graphics are quite good. I'm quite impressed. Now, first, let's go with the aesthetics of the actual console. Once all the stickers are off, it looks... I know you're probably going to laugh because that's one of the gripes of the console, but I really do like the look of the Xbox. It's way too big. Way too big. The PS4 underneath is how big it should be. I mean, even compared with the PlayStation 3 on top, which is one of the largest consoles ever released, with the possible exception of that Atari 7200 or whatever it was. Not the 5200, the one after that. It's one of the biggest consoles ever released. But the Xbox One even tops that by a good few an inch in every direction easily, and is a lot more solid. Not impressed with the size, but the aesthetics I think look very clean, very slick, and I actually like the box solid look instead of the curvy, futuristic-y PS4 look of the PS4 on top. But this is, again, each to their own, and I guess, you know, you can't really, so it's all really dusty, so I guess you can't really complain about how it looks, because that's just not a feature that's going to affect how it plays. But I personally really prefer the aesthetics on the Xbox, really like that. Another gripe I have, actually, with the aesthetics, I guess you could call it, is how bad it is at cooling. Now, you can see the fans here are like, the venting is located on the top of the console here. That's covering that entire side, on the sides and on the back. Now, if you're having things stacked on it like I am, it means it's going to get hot, and if the fans rev up, this thing gets way, way too loud. The PS4's vents are all on the back, and it kind of doesn't actually... I'm going to stop comparing the PS4, because we're going to do a separate video for that. But, yeah, it gets really, really loud if you leave something on top of it. Like, it's fine if I have a small gap like that to dissipate the heat, but if I leave my controller on it, my TV remote on it, those fans rev up like crazy. It gets too loud to use, and I think it's kind of annoying. And it gets way too hot, like uncomfortably hot to touch, which isn't good for any electronic gear really, but you can't really complain. That's about, I guess, all you have for the physical overview. Other specifications, I guess, include what you have on the back. You have HDMI in and out port, so you can plug it into a TV to use TV features with it. Not that most people are going to do that, to be honest. You've also got infrared blasters to hit other devices around the room. You have power input, SPDIF audio out, and I don't believe there's any other connectors on it. I think that is everything, apart from an Ethernet port, of course, for internet, but it also has built-in Wi-Fi, so I'm just using that because I've got very good internet and I don't really need to use a wired connection. Another thing we're going to have to review is the controller. Now, I'll get this in focus quickly, but the controller I am quite impressed with, actually. I really like it. I think it looks great. Now, thumbsticks indented on the top, they feel great, they're easy to use, they move well. There's very little resistance, which is a complaint on some people. I don't mind it, you actually get used to it fairly quickly. They move quite freely and quite easily, and that's nice. The triggers have individual rumble buttons in them, so they actually vibrate individually depending on what's happening in game. They feel great. These are very tactile, the bumpers on top, they feel great. The buttons are still a bit too membraney, I guess is the word for my taste. I prefer much clickier things like the D-pad, which is exceptional, the best D-pad on the controller to date, in my opinion. Button up top's fine, and we also have share and options buttons, which is that's window and options buttons, but it's absolutely fine. One more gripe with this, well, a couple more gripes with this controller. One is it runs on batteries. You require 2 AA batteries to power this thing. Battery life is fantastic. 2 AA's are going to power this thing for 2 weeks worth of gaming. No exception, that's absolutely fine. 2 weeks worth of gaming on this thing with that much battery, but at the end of the day, come on, we want rechargeable controllers. I'd rather have a controller that I had to plug in constantly than something that does this. You can get rechargeable battery packs, but considering you have to pay a premium of £20 for one of them, for the official Xbox One anyway, I don't think that's going to be a selling point of this controller, is the fact that it's got AA batteries. Another gripe I have, I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, I guess I'm going to zoom in on this analog stick here, but as you can see, under here, it's actually started to wear out from walking too much in it. You can see it started to wear out there. It gets a bit, you can't really hear it, but it gets a little bit grindy if you don't clean it off like quite often, which I found quite annoying. I mean, the grips are great, don't get me wrong. On the analog stick, which you move in all directions for aiming, for me, that's fine. But for the one you move for shooting all the time, or for walking all the time even, that one is gonna get a bit mashed up. And I did not experience that problem on any other controller I've used so far to date. So that's another negative point about the controller. And I think if you did continue to use this on one game, for just walking like COD, that is going to jam. That was an issue with the PS3 controllers, I guess, because I have one over here, I think it's this one, hang on, where the analog stick actually sticks in place, where I've actually used it so much. I don't know which is this one, it is this one. Yeah, the analog stick actually sticks in place where I've used it so much. Now that is hardcore gaming. Now anyway, so I guess it's an issue with controls that need to be resolved. We need tougher, God, I've got my head in the shot. Need to get some tougher, tougher plastic for making this material here work properly. That's about it for the controller, I guess. The D-pad's great. I do not like the fact that it has this proprietary connector for headsets, which is very annoying. I wish I could just plug my Beats into it and use them as a microphone like I can with other consoles, but you can't with this one. It's also got an input for charging it and a sync button. So that's the overview of the controller. Now, games, obviously, gaming is entirely your preference. You can obviously game on PC, but I thought I would have to show you something that I thought was atrocious. Each to their own, I thought this was atrocious. I'm going to boot the console up now. I guess I'll show you that with the light on it. Just press the button on the controller and the light should come on. Sorry about that. The light should come on and there we have it. You can see the lights up. And when the fans are only, you know, just turning on, it's okay. It seems quite quiet. Now this is a feature that I think is fine. Boots up fine. Takes a while to boot compared with other stuff, but you can't really complain. So it sounds okay, and it does boot up. What more would you want? Obviously, it's not going to boot quick. It isn't a solid state drive. I mean, it's still booting now. And I guess I'm going to show you other things that I found awful. Got a lot of my reflection there. Awful with the actual console. So this is probably going to be. Some people are going to completely disagree and really like it, but this was something that I absolutely hated. I don't think my camera's quite level. It's on the wrong HDMI. What am I doing? Where's my control? See, this is wide enough to stock your controller on it. There's another positive point. Now, to get started with the home screen. Not controller isn't working. Come on. There we go. Oop. HDMI 4, I think it's on. Too much stuff plugged into this TV. There we go. 1080p home screen. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy. I'm just going to bounce the trouble on my toe because it's a bit, I don't know. Anyway, home screen. Every time I boot up, you can see I'm not connected to the internet. I don't know if there's a setting for this because I couldn't find one, but every time I want to connect to my Xbox Live, I have to enter via this, so it recognises that my Wi-Fi, there it is, FBI surveillance van, yeah, haha, that my Wi-Fi is actually there before I go back, at which point it will realise I'm online. But I have to do that every time I turn the console on from powered down mode. Now this annoyed me. I don't know why the hell that has to happen, but that was another thing that really kind of annoyed me with the console. Let's look at other features. This home menu is, I can't say I hate it as much as I'm pretending I do. It's not great. You have your pinned apps here, your main screen here with loads of useless stuff on it you're never going to use, like Upload Studio. And over here we have the store, which is relatively easy to navigate around. It's okay. I don't like how the settings are found. You have to either have the settings pinned to your thing, which I don't for some reason, or you have to go into your home and then into your, like, well, see my games and apps, into this section here, and it is just a kerfuffle to get into this thing. Apps, I mean, we should have settings in here somewhere. There, it's that much of a kerfuffle to get to your settings. Things like that, things that make it so hard to navigate, make it annoying. Then, if you haven't got a Kinect, which I don't, you probably noticed that. I'm not reviewing the Kinect at all. This is the Xbox without Kinect. if you haven't got a Connect, you have to snap stuff. And snapping, you have to double tap the home button, and then the snap thing should appear like so. And then you have snapped at the side of the screen whatever apps you want to use here. Now this works relatively okay, but stuff like Game DVR, where you can't actually record unless you have that snapped and it minimises your screen, you can't just press a button to record an old clip or anything. I don't like the snap feature, it's not something I'm ever going to use, and you snap back, and then to exit snap you have to double click it again and then exit like that. And it just takes up time, and I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the home screen at all. I guess each to their own, but every other home screen I've previously tried, including the original 360 home screen, was better. It has Internet Explorer, functional, works fine. YouTube, functional, works fine. Can't select a resolution in videos. I hate that. I always have it at 1080p or higher because I can't stand grainy pictures. I don't like the way you can't change it and it automatically changes to your speed. Demand apps work fine. Never tried Skype because I haven't got a camera. But everything, I guess, works okay and it's functional. Mind you, this is a long time after release, so they've had time to patch it all. You have your notifications up here, right up in the top corner, and you have like the achievements you've unlocked, other stuff like invites, messages, all that good stuff. And that's really all I have to say about the home screen, I guess. So would I recommend buying this console? It depends. What are you going to be doing? If you're going to be looking at it as a primary means of gaming for the foreseeable future, I'm going to have to say no, do not get this console. It is okay. You have to pay if you're online for a start, which I know everyone's doing that now. You have to pay for online, but I can't say I'm a big fan of this. I do not like the fact you have to pay if you're online. I do not also like the fact that it's got all these TV capabilities and stuff, and I'm not going to use them. I personally think a game console should game, and this isn't just a games console. This is a multimedia thing, which I don't use. Another thing I hate, one quick thing I've just forgotten, is with the game DVR, you cannot record your clips and actually put them on a memory stick to edit on a computer later. You have to just upload them via the Upload Studio and edit everything in there. So you can't have your custom introductions, you can't have your anything like that. I hate that, so I won't be even doing any gameplay from this system, unlike I do with the PS4 and my PC. So another big thumbs down for the console. And one other thing you have probably also noticed is this. On the front and on the sides, it is a very clean looking console. Yeah, great, that's probably great, right? Ed, you like that? No, please note something, the PS4 has it, the Xbox doesn't. Right here, 2 USB ports. We have one USB port right around the back of the console here, and 2 at the back of the console. That is it. How am I meant to charge my controllers, plugging external devices and stuff, with nothing in front of it anyway? I appreciate it hasn't got a multimedia center for the stuff like music anyway, but I can't charge my controller just by plugging something into the front of the console. There's no feature to do that, and I find that infuriating. It's not even worth getting a play and charge kit unless you're sat that side of the actual console. It's not worth actually buying a play and charge kit because there's one USB tucked around the side and 2 around the back. And it's kind of annoying that I haven't got, even on both of these, we have, you know, ports on front on the PS4 and on the PS3. So you've got 4 on the PS3. That's actually winning with the amount of ports on the front. But what can I say? There's some poor features, and to be honest, it could have been done better. I wouldn't say it's a bad console. Whichever one you decide to buy, you're not losing. But whichever console you get, but PC gaming for the win. That's what this comes down to. I have bought this sheerly for Halo, and hopefully it will deliver in that aspect. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I wouldn't recommend getting one unless you really want Halo, or really want Sunset Overdrive, or really want, well, I can't say Titanfall because I got it on PC, or if you really want, well, that's about the only games I think are compelling, or maybe Forza. But if you guys want that, then fine, get it, that's why I got it. If you're a big Halo fanboy, it's probably the way forward for you. For console exclusives, you're going to have both, which is what I've done. But it's an okay console, but I can't say I'd recommend buying one unless you're really looking at those exclusives with your jaw absolutely drooling because they look so good. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Remember to rate, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Bandicoot101. Like my Facebook page at Bandicoot101. Links will be in the description for both. And remember to rate, comment and subscribe for more gaming and tech videos. I give the console 8 out of 10 with minus points coming from lack of ease of use on the home screen, lack of USB ports on the front of the console, and the inability to use the game DVR easily to put stuff onto memory sticks and edit it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you very soon with another gaming or tech video. Bandicoot101 out.